If you're in Ho Chi Minh City and you want to go to the beach, then Vung Tau is your closest option. This city is down on the south coast and you can get there by hydrofoil or by bus, or of course by car. The water is not as clean as in other places like Phu Quoc, but with its fishing fleet and amazing restaurants, it's a very fun place to visit and very colourful. And thousands flock there on the weekends to jump into the surf with most of their clothes on. And of course also enjoy the nightlife.
So we're going to Vung Tau today and we're on the way to the ferry terminal. Take a high-speed ferry. Let's see how high-speed it really is. There's the Petexco Tower. There's also the Vietnamese Burj Khalifa in the background.
As we had bought our tickets online, all we had to do was show the confirmation to the ticket office, got our tickets, and we were onto the catamaran.
We're in the air-conditioned ferry. And your mom gonna find your boyfriend today. Looking very snazzy. Please say it again in front of the camera. Gop.
Gop.
Just spell it.
G-O-L-F. Gop.
So after making fun of my girlfriend, we were off. It was indeed a beautiful day, and even though the river is a little bit muddy, it is still an amazing trip down to the coast.
We have left the river and are now in the sea.
All in all, it was a very smooth trip and we made it there in 2 hours.
We have arrived. My first honest impressions are that this is a cheap version of Phu Quoc. So apparently we're not allowed to check in. We need to go straight to eat at the restaurant. Food above everything else.
This was my first time in Vung Tau. And as you can see, there are a lot of decorations around because it was just after Vietnamese New Year. This means that the city was very busy, but we still managed to find accommodation and the restaurants were full, but we still managed to find some seats.
Guys, how are you? Wow, look at the size of that bun seo, yeah? That is a very, very big bun seo. So we have here these little pancakes. One's with beef, one's with prawns, and one's with chicken.
It's really spicy.
Really? I'm very excited.
You know that you're gonna love it.
If they have Coke Zero, that would be great. Otherwise, let's go for the whole thing. Oh my god, unbelievably delicious. Oh my god, crispy, light, and soft in the middle, and fragrant with the herbs. There we go. Alright.
Mình đóng lại hoàng.
Can we somewhere over there? Just go wild.
Còn cái này anh đang đặt giá trên riêng thì bắt buộc cái tập đoàn đó đó.
Bun pit noon, chewy noodles, crunchy peanuts, charred meat, herbs all over the place, sweet sauce, garlic, explosion.
After a delicious lunch, it was time to check into a hotel, and if you want to watch the reviews of those hotels, please check my previous video. We had a bit of a rest, and then it was off to dinner. As in most of Vietnam, most seafood is sold live. That means you just choose what you want, weigh it out, pay it, and then you take it upstairs to the restaurant where it gets cooked whichever way you like. Of course, you have the local staple, flower snails, clams. There are also exotic things here, for example this Alaskan king crab and this gooey duck. And these imports from Alaska and Canada are not cheap. The king crab costs about $500 US, so yeah, you could have deep pockets if you want to eat that. There were also types of sharks, groupers and permit. And these permit, like the one that's swimming around upside down, were my absolute favorites. Our first round included raw oysters, flower snails, squid, shrimp, and scallops.
Alright, now it's time for some oysters. Got some wasabi and soy sauce. Oh wow. Very tasty oyster actually, very meaty. Like meaty things in general. So time to try some of these prawns. Those who know me know I'm allergic to prawns, but the Kenyan in me is coming out. I have abandoned all chopsticks. I'm now eating with my hands. That shows how amazing this food is. The best piece of the whole fish. Oh my God. Look at this fish, it's full of chili, like sticky chili oil on the outside. This is the exact fish you should choose. So amazing. Some snail as a break. The ones that are hard to remove from the shell are the best ones because they're much chewier and they're like squid. There's the ones that look like snot. Oh, those are not cool. I'm excited for this crab. But in the meantime, I shall eat the fish. The fish is by far the most delicious fish I've eaten in Vietnam so far. Look at this. Amazing. Wow. The Swiss in me is saying to behave and let everybody else have a chance. The Kenyan in me is saying eat, and the Kenyan side always wins. It is time for the crab, for the heavy duty cracking.
Getting the meat out of these crabs is 100% not my favorite activity, so I'm very grateful that Yang is such a pro at it.
So that feast was $100 for 5 of us, because the 2 kids count as 1. Another thing to know is when you're with Viet people, they won't tell you where you're going or what you're doing. Even now we're just walking somewhere, have no idea where we're going, what we're going to do. But yeah, that's how it is.
Unfortunately, Black Pearl was pretty empty inside, and so we decided to go to a beach venue instead.
We're here at Havana, colorful beach. I think it's going to be colorful things on the beach. I think it's a little bit early. Doesn't seem to be much going on right now.
It was also quite quiet, and so we decided to leave there and go to the hottest place in town called Beer 88. Now this place was absolutely packed. We had to wait in line a bit, but it took us about 15 minutes and we were in. So this isn't a club. This is what a Vietnamese beer garden looks like. As is typical in Vietnam, even bars and clubs serve food all night long. So you can have anything you want, from steak to curry to soup to chips, you name it. And of course, drinks galore. The place was super crazy and there were dancers everywhere.
Beer 88, whatever the hell it's called, Tam Tam in Vietnamese, was excellent. Yes, we had a great time. Absolutely worth it. It's not so far either from the Ibis.
As it was our last night, and of course only because of YouTube, we decided to drop everybody else back at the hotel and go on to a club called Lox.
Oh, now we going to a secret party.
Important to note is that clubs in Vung Tau close much earlier than the ones in Ho Chi Minh City, so expect to leave at around 2 or 3 a.m. depending on the crowd. It's also quite expensive because you need to spend a minimum amount of money, which we argued down to about $100. after more than enough fun, we decided to call it a night because the next day we had our trip back to Ho Chi Minh City, and we decided to go back by luxury bus.
Very nice. The Hoa Mai D car. Very fancy. Oh wow. Look at that. So that is what you call no time for video.
Hả? Rồi nó hai bay ngồi trước không?
The baby's the real gentleman here.
Có chứ. Là trước quá rồi bật cái ghế lên cho đây nha.
Get your USB port, air conditioning, which is not on yet, but it will be.
People will come in.
Huh?
People will come this way.
Who?
Oh, they will take more people.
Oh, they'll take
Still
more
have
people?
two seats.
Oh.
Ủa vậy giờ mình vào tắt rồi.
I thought it's private.
No, we only find.
Alright, so it's not private. It says private, but it's not private. Drink holder. I don't know if do these recline? Already recline. Look at that. Can you feel me in my reclined position? This is pretty okay, I have to say. But it's definitely bumpier and crazier than the ferry. The ferry is less bumpy and calm. Do I look Vietnamese enough yet? I can confirm this is very VIP, specifically the two front seats, because you can just absolutely lie down. You could sleep very easily. Very comfortable, much more comfortable than I assumed. Traffic wasn't too bad, and I would not hesitate to do this again. But yeah, I mean the ferry is exciting in its own way. But if you're traveling as a family, it would be better in the bus, because then you'll be sure that you can stop and enjoy and have some snacks, but no toilets, unlike the ferry. And now it is time to get out.
And that concludes our long weekend in Vung Tau. Check out my next video, which is all about the nightlife in Ho Chi Minh City.